This is 3 News Daily.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Daily on this Friday, December 15th. I'm Stephanie Haney. Thank you for being here with us in Northeast Ohio. We start today showing you a police chase that ended this morning when a car crashed into the front porch of a home on Cleveland East Side. Just take a look at this video. Officers from Bedford Heights were involved in a chase that entered into Cleveland. Our photographer was there, and the pursuit drove right past him several times. As you can see here, as the car turns off East 127th Street and onto Lenacrave Avenue, it crashes right into the steps of a porch. The passenger was arrested at the scene, but the driver ran away. Now today, we know a Canton teen is facing charges tied to allegedly plotting to shoot up and burn down a Stark County synagogue. Law enforcement says they learned of the teen's plan months ago on September 7th. A spokesperson from the Anti-Defamation League says social media is partly to blame, and parents and schools should be aware of what kids are seeing on those platforms.
We don't have a rash of 12 and 13 and 14-year-olds who all of a sudden have a massive amount of hate for one group of people. They have bought into a rhetoric that makes it seem like it's the right choice.
The boy's family told 3 News that he's a good, smart kid and most definitely was influenced by older men on the social media platform Discord. The teen will appear in court later this month to face misdemeanor charges of inducing panic and disorderly conduct. Now, leading up to this week's debut of the Nutcracker from the Cleveland Ballet, another member of their leadership has stepped down. In this 3 News Investigates report, we bring you multiple insiders' claims of toxic workplace behavior and show you side-by-side comparisons of choreography that has allegedly been plagiarized for years. In the middle of an investigation into body size discrimination, toxic workplace behavior, and plagiarism, another member of Cleveland Ballet leadership has stepped down. Cynthia Graham has resigned as interim artistic director, a role she held for 3 weeks following the suspension of co-founder Gladisa Guadalupe and the eventual resignation of Guadalupe's husband, former president and CEO Michael Krasniansky. While the Cleveland Ballet Board did not respond to 3 News Investigates' question about why Graham resigned, a person familiar with Cleveland Ballet operations and a person who has danced for Cleveland Ballet, both of whom asked to remain anonymous out of fear of retaliation, told 3 News that Graham, in her longtime role as director of repertoire, would consistently videotape dancers to shame them out of leaving the dance rehearsal space, even to use the bathroom, have condescending and insulting outbursts in the studios, and single out individual dancers with repeated and escalating beratement over mistakes while rehearsing. They said she was part of a system of bullying and intimidation led by Guadalupe and Krasniansky, where staff had no one to report to because of family and a longtime friend holding HR positions. Graham is also accused of being complicit with Guadalupe in plagiarizing portions of the Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker, first of all, it came from a book. And late 1800s, they developed it into a ballet. So what we have to do is discern, like you said, what's in the public domain and what isn't.
When choreographers put their own spin on the traditional Nutcracker ballet, they own the changes they make to dance steps, storyline, and staging, and copying those choices without permission is illegal.
Now, George Balanchine, he came up with his first choreographed routine was the Nutcracker and was awarded a copyright based upon his differences from the original work.
Both Guadalupe and Graham are accused of plagiarizing the lead Nutcracker roles that they danced for the previous version of the Cleveland Ballet in the 1980s, as it was originally choreographed by its then artistic director, Dennis Nahat.
Dennis, not the choreographer, Dennis, the person, makes things easier, and you learn faster.
Go for it. Go for heaven.
Who has registered ownership of those ballets with the United States Copyright Office.
When I left Cleveland, my original contract written, or an agreement written years ago, years before I left, specified that I owned my work from the beginning of time to the present till the end of time. And that if I were to leave the company for any reason in the future, my ballets would, of course, go with me.
When 3 News learned of these allegations dating back years, we reached out to Nahat and showed him this video that 3 News obtained of a 2021 Cleveland Ballet performance of the Nutcracker, which has since been removed from the company's Vimeo page, where the lead role is performed by Guadalupe's daughter, Marla Aleda, to see if Nahat recognized the choreography as his own.
It's on the tape that you sent me, that variation with those very steps. And the idea, and again, the basic choice of props and staging and design of the work and how her attitude is. And yeah.
Aleda, who is also dancing the lead Nutcracker role this season for the Cleveland Ballet, posted this video from the 1980s of Guadalupe dancing what she is accused of plagiarizing.
One of the newest members of Cleveland Ballet, Gladisa possesses a true 19th century ballerina style, one that is rare in today's 20th century.
Which we also showed to Nahat to compare to the 2021 Cleveland Ballet Nutcracker video.
And this dance is directly out of my Nutcracker, which she danced many times. I'm flattered, but I'm saddened because I wasn't asked. You must pay artists and or have an agreement with them.
Cleveland Ballet's board declined our offer to view the performances side by side, citing lack of expertise and telling 3 News in part, "It is my understanding that whether one work could be considered plagiarized from another is a complex issue requiring real expertise in choreography, and that some similarities don't necessarily constitute plagiarism. Ms. Guadalupe and Ms. Graham adamantly insist there is no plagiarism." Someone who has danced for Cleveland Ballet told 3 News that prior to our investigation, these allegedly plagiarized portions were still being rehearsed for the company's scheduled December Nutcracker performances at Playhouse Square. And after our investigation launched, Graham changed some of the allegedly plagiarized choreography, but not all of it. Cleveland Ballet's director of rehearsals, Timur Bordasenkov, is now responsible for what audiences will see on stage during the Nutcracker's run at Playhouse Square over the next 2 weeks. Co-founder Gladisa Guadalupe remains suspended at this time. The Cleveland Ballet Board did not respond to my questions about when they expect to conclude their investigations and if they will make those findings public. Now, starting today, the Cleveland Police Department is holding its 3-day hiring event. Candidates will be able to complete their agility and medical tests and background checks all in one day and could even get a preconditional job offer. The department is offering signing bonuses and pay incentives for new recruits. That hiring event is today through Sunday at Cleveland City Hall from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The city hopes this will help fill out the shortage of nearly 300 officers. And today, Shaker Heights City Council had a special meeting to discuss allowing a former officer to get his beloved police dog back. And we are so excited to report that Officer Chad Hagan was granted permission to buy his K9 Igor. Now, Hagan has to cover the cost of a new dog, and then he can take Igor home. Igor's been staying in a county kennel for the past few weeks, and our Lindsay Buckingham is on this story. We hope to have more on their reunion for you later today. Now, good work continues despite a major setback. Remember in August, the New Life at Calvary Church in Cleveland suffered a devastating blow when a rare tornado tore the roof off. Now they've learned they can't start rebuilding until the whole place is cleaned up, which could take months.
I initially thought this was going to go fast. We're going to be back in our building by Christmas. Everything's going to be okay. But this has been a slow journey as well.
Even amidst the rebuilding efforts, though, the church is still searching for ways to give back to those in need. They continue to host Sunday service in the gym, which was not damaged by the storm. Now, you're looking at older video, but today the inaugural Pickle in the Land pickleball tournament is underway. It is happening all weekend long at the Huntington Convention Center on 30 pickleball courts. Cleveland will welcome more than 1,000 participants of all skill levels competing for prize money. This is the largest pickleball event to take place in Northeast Ohio. It all kicked off this morning at 9 a.m. Good luck to everyone involved. All right, now to hockey and puppies. 9 players from the Cleveland Monsters hockey team trained to be dog walkers at the Cleveland APL. The APL posted these pictures to Instagram saying the players trained for the 2 hours required, and now they can take on volunteer shifts to walk all of the adoptable dogs at the shelter. Of course, they had some fun playing with the pups in the play yard, too. The APL says they're so grateful to have the players joining their volunteer team. And if you want to become a volunteer as well, you can head to clevelandapl.org to learn more. All right, staying in the sports world, here's our question of the day. Browns quarterback Joe Flacco has a lot of chances to get paid extra money for wins based on his contract, including an extra $2 million if they win the Super Bowl. Wouldn't we be so lucky? We would love to see that. We want to have a little fun with this. We want to know, what else do you think he should get paid a bonus for? Post your comment on the WKYC Facebook page. We'll talk about it during 3 News at 4 and 3 News at 5. I'm really hoping to see some creative responses here. I want to see like number of touchdowns in a game, like maybe a bonus if he comes up with a really good touchdown celebration dance. Show me what you got. Thanks for being with us for today's edition of 3 News Daily. Wherever you are watching or listening, we appreciate you. Thanks for being with us. Have a beautiful weekend. It's going to be nice out there. We'll see you back here on Monday with more of your top stories from Northeast Ohio.